Hello and welcome to the Back to the Basics show with Wilson Boneme, the public speaking and presentation series. Are you a professional, an entrepreneur, or a corporate executive who desires to become a better speaker and presenter? This series is designed specially for you. I'm going to be sharing with you basic strategies, tools, and techniques that can help you to become a more confident, dynamic, and engaging speaker and presenter. And yes, you're welcome. Enjoy. Today we are going to be looking at different levels and different types of stage fright. So we're going to be taking stage fright from different perspectives. Stage fright can be as a result of the fear of making mistakes. But for me, that is not enough. Now I go down further to ask the question, the fear of making what kinds of mistake? And that's where the levels come in. What kinds of mistake? When someone tells you, I'm afraid of making mistakes, what kind of mistakes are you afraid of making? Are you afraid of making mistakes in your use of vocabulary? Are you afraid of making mistakes in the way you pronounce words? Are you afraid of making mistakes in your content itself? Are you not sure of the validity of the points that you have outlined to share with these people? In what areas are you afraid of making mistakes? Are you afraid of making mistakes when it comes to answering questions? Are you afraid of making mistakes in the way or the style that you present your speech? So you need to be particular. You need to go down to the particular mistake that you're afraid of making. In that way, you can see clearly what you have to do. Now, if you're afraid of making mistakes, and the kind of mistakes you're afraid of making are mistakes that are related to your use of vocabulary, what does that tell you? Work on your vocabulary. If you're afraid of making mistakes and your fear is in the area of the way you pronounce words, you're not so sure that you're pronouncing words correctly, work on your pronunciation skills. Get a diction coach, get an elocution trainer. So if you move away from this generic view of things, like, okay, I'm afraid of making mistakes, to a more specific view of things, I'm afraid of making these kinds of mistakes, then you know exactly what you should start doing. Another cause of stage fright is the feeling of inadequacy. Now my question for you is, inadequacy as it relates to what? So feelings of inadequacy, that means you feel you are inadequate in something. So the question, what is that thing? You're feeling inadequate. Why? Is it your professional qualification? Are you feeling inadequate because of a certain physical disability? Are you feeling inadequate because of your background? Are you feeling inadequate because of the way you are dressed or the way you appear in public? If that is the case, you have to work on your appearance. It's that simple. If you're feeling inadequate because you don't feel you're qualified, get further qualification or work on your mindset, or find out other people who are on the same level that you are on, that are doing this thing that you are afraid of doing and doing it well. So you need to move away, like I said initially, from the generic perspective of stage fright to a more specific one. Now, feelings of inadequacy. You're feeling inadequate in what? Get to the root. Know what it is exactly. Now, another cause of stage fright can be memories. Now, when I say memories, what do I mean? You have failed in the past, and the next time you stand on stage to speak, the memory comes back and you're like, this was how I felt the last time. I'm most likely going to fail now. You have failed already. So your memories of past failure can lead to present failure if you don't work on it. And that is why feedback analysis is important. What you have to do when you are faced with this challenge of the memory always coming back to haunt you is, rather than run away from the memory, rather than run away from presentation, rather than run away from experiencing it again, what you have to do is focus on feedback analysis. What did you do wrong? that memory that hurt you, your past failure, a lot of people don't go back to analyze or assess, evaluate their performance. You need to analyze your performance. Where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? How can I improve on this? What skills do I need to acquire? What do I need to read? Okay? So, that's the memories. Now, present happenings can also lead to stage fright. What do I mean by present happenings? Present happenings are the things that are happening while you are actively presenting, while you are actively delivering your speech. And one of those things could be the lack of response from the members of the audience. You have thought in your mind that when you said this thing, when you moved this way, that they would react in a certain way, and they were as cold as ice. And like, oh, this thing did not work. What's happening? Why are they not responding? At that point, you begin to lose it. So the present happening could also be distractions happening in the class, in the venue. People are beginning to have side conversations, and you're like, it's like I'm boring, or they're not understanding me. You begin to feel the fear, and it seems like you didn't prepare. What can also happen is you can suddenly lose your voice, and people begin to struggle to hear you. One other thing that can happen, present happening that can lead to stage fright, is power outage. You never envisage that happening, and there's power outage, and everywhere is becoming rowdy, and they can't hear you clearly anymore, or the microphone begins to malfunction. Or sometimes it could be that you had prepared to speak without a microphone, and you get on stage and they ask you to use the microphone, and that becomes a problem because you are not used to using the microphone. So what do you do when all these things happen? You prepare ahead. You prepare ahead. Now, in subsequent videos, I'm going to be sharing with you things that you can do to deal with the fear before the presentation, during the presentation, and even after the presentation. So, one other cause of stage fright is future possibilities. What do I mean by future possibilities? If you are on stage presenting and you feel you're not doing it well, or you begin to feel the fear and you know that you're not performing to the highest standard, one of the future possibilities is that they won't invite you back. The fear that they won't invite you back can worsen or heighten your stage fright. So that fear of, they won't invite me back, or that fear of losing a potential business deal because of stage fright. The future possibility can worsen the stage fright that you're feeling at the moment. So future possibilities of losing the contract, future possibilities of losing your job because of a poor performance. These future possibilities can worsen your stage fright. Okay? So you need to watch out for that. How do you protect yourself against this the thoughts of future possibilities? You would have to work on your mindset. You have to work on your mindset. Okay? Now, one very important element of stage fright is you need to know your triggers. You need to know your triggers. What are those things that would happen and that would trigger stage fright for you as an individual? What are some of those things that would happen that would trigger? Now, the things that trigger stage fright for different people are different. What triggers stage fright in you will be different from what triggers stage fright in me. And trust me, there are a lot of successful great speakers who still feel the fear and who at some point still experience stage fright, at a certain level. And you would not know that they are experiencing stage fright because they've learned how to deal with it even while they are experiencing it. Okay, so you need to know your triggers and prepare for them. Prepare, know your triggers, know what things that you can do to help you control yourself or manage the situation whenever you find yourself in that situation. Okay, so that's all for today. I'll see you in my next video. Hello, this is Wilson Bonime saying thanks for watching. I'd really love to hear from you. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to send them in. Take care. Bye-bye.